You went to vet school to practice medicine. Nobody handed you a syllabus on 1099s, quarterly estimates, or how to structure your relief business. If you're doing your relief work and treating it as a side hustle, you are leaving thousands of dollars a year on the table. You're giving it to the IRS. They become your largest client. I'm Michelle Masacchio, where Vet Med meets smart business. And today we're talking about what you actually need beyond the medicine to run your relief work. Stick around. We're going to cover that 5 things, and most relief vets are missing out on at least 3 of them. So the first mind shift that we need is you are a business. As soon as you walk away from your associate's position, as soon as you walk away from that guaranteed paycheck, that W-2 at the end of the year, congratulations, you have become a business owner. And that means that nobody's withholding taxes for you. Nobody's setting that money aside for you. And oh my gosh, what about my health insurance? What about my liability insurance? And that list keeps going on and on and on. So most of the relief vets that I have run into are starting their practices as sole proprietors, which is fantastic. You're not at that point where you need to consider a different entity style. But if you have grown above 100,000 in gross receipts, above 40,000 in gross profit, then we need to talk. Maybe it is time to change your entity structure. I keep hearing about these taxes that I have to pay every quarter. What the heck? I don't know what they are. Those are the quarterly estimates that the IRS requires you to pay. These can be the silent killer. If you go throughout the year, you're collecting a great salary. I mean, you are working hard. You are taking shift after shift after shift, and you're just earning hands over fists in your money. But you're not making those quarterly estimates. Come tax time, you're going to have a huge bill to pay and possibly some interest and penalties. So we want to cover that. We want to make sure that you are doing those quarterly estimates. Just a general rule of thumb, throw out there, let's save 25 to 30% of each check you receive from a practice. Put it in a separate account and label that as your tax account. Don't touch it for anything except paying those quarterly estimated taxes. We touched base a little bit on that entity structure. So again, as you're just coming out of that W-2 work, sole proprietorship is great. And it's as you start picking up shifts and making those changes, that's when we want to keep an eye on if we want to make that S Corp election switch. And again, rule of thumb, over 100,000 gross revenue, 40,000 profit. And the S corporation is something that needs to be done correctly, obviously, or the IRS is going to kick it back out. And other things that you need to be considering are reasonable compensation and payroll setup. And again, all of these items need to be done correctly, or you could be hurting yourself, or the IRS could reject the whole thing. Just kick us out of that S election, and here we are back to where we're paying taxes. So that's why you need a qualified CPA who can actually help you understand and work through all of that. Contracts, rates, and getting paid what you're worth. First recommendation, get it in writing. I'm sure you've run across people, oh yeah, I'll pay you whatever, and whatever you want, I'll make it happen. And you do the work and you send in your invoice and you don't get paid. Or they pay you less than what's on the invoice. Get it in writing. Invoice. You're in a business now. Invoice your work. Know your real hourly rate. What the heck does that mean? So when you're figuring out what to charge somebody for your services, obviously you have your education, you have the knowledge that you received from that education. That is your primary focus. That's your primary advantage to these veterinarian practices. But then on top of that, of course, you have your student loans payments, you have health insurance, you have malpractice insurance, you have other general business expenses that you need to cover. So you need to make sure that all of those items are covered when you are calculating your base rate. Insurance and protection. So I mentioned that just a minute ago. Definitely want to make sure you have health insurance. You never know what's going to happen. There's other types of insurance out there. There's long-term disability, short-term disability. Happy to talk about the pros and cons of all of that. But definitely health insurance, definitely liability insurance. You do not want to take the chance that you are covered under that clinic's liability insurance. If something were to happen, we're a litigious society, unfortunately, but if somebody were to sue you, the clinic does not cover you, you're going to be left holding the bag. So make sure you have your own liability insurance. It just covers you. It just makes you sleep better at night. So here's the truth, folks. Being a great vet is not, that's just half the job. The other half is running it like a business. And that's why I created the Relief Vet Inner Circle. I work with a lot of relief veterinarians, and they struggle on the business side because, again, you guys have not been taught what a business looks like, how it runs. So inside this Relief Vet Inner Circle, the major thing you get is me. We have open office hours on the fourth Thursday of every month from 4:30 to 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. And you can ask me any questions that you want. Be happy to answer them for you. I want to put you on the right path. I want to make sure you guys are being successful on the business side. I know you can handle it on the vet side. I have no question at all about that. It's the business side that I want to help you on. So shoot me a link below and we'll get you the details over for the Relief Vet Inner Circle, and happy to help you in any way we possibly can. Remember, it's your dream practice. You run it. We run the strategies.